Hi everyone, I'm Patricia and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about burdens. So why do we have burdens? Well, number one, we live on earth. Just living on earth carries a certain amount of burdens with it. But burdens could be things because we carry them because of our expectations. We may expect things to go a certain way, and when they don't, they frustrate us and they upset us. They give us anxiety, and those can become burdens on us so that the next time it can become weightier if we are again expecting the same thing and not getting it. And so that can be a burden to us. A burden can also be something we carry because of someone else's expectations for us. So parents have a tendency to do that. They expect certain things from us, and we feel like we need to live that out for them, to do that for them, or even friends or anyone else. And so that can be a burden that we carry. And of course, burdens are sometimes placed on us by other people doing things to us. And that is something that, unforgiveness can be a burden. So we can have these burdens upon us, and it sounds crazy, but we choose to carry them. We choose to hang on to them and cling to them. So I want to talk to us about how we can get rid of those burdens. So my husband and I, we've only been married for a little over a year. And when we went on our honeymoon, we talked. Of course, we're always talking, but we were talking about something in regards to our spiritual life. And something came up and he went, "What?" And I went, "What?" And we found out that we were kind of on opposing sides of something, of an issue. And it's an issue that is common in the church. And so we were talking about that, and it just became a huge burden for me. I mean, I was like crying every day for like 2 weeks until I figured this out. And I was just so upset. And I couldn't believe that we didn't talk about this before, but it wasn't something that, that would come up. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. So I chose to accept what he asked of me, and I didn't like doing it, but I went ahead and did it because I wanted to be submissive to him. I wanted to show that he was the head of the family. It wasn't a sin issue, so don't worry about that. It wasn't a salvation issue, so don't worry about that. But it was crazy because it wasn't a salvation issue, but we had made it a salvation issue simply because of the different churches and the different denominations we had been raised in. We had been spiritually matured in, and that was the issue. So even after that, for a year after that, it was still bothering me. It was still just really tearing at me. And so finally God helped me deal with it, and I prayed about it, and we talked about it, and we have learned a lot about each other from it, and we have learned about our own spiritual lives because of it, which has been great. But when I was preparing for this, I was going to talk about it, and God said to me, He didn't place a burden on you. He revealed to you a burden that you were already carrying, that you were not aware that you were carrying. And sometimes that happens. God reveals to us and shows us if we want Him to. God knows I have this, beautiful special relationship with God, and as everyone can have. And He knows I want truth. No matter how hard it hurts, I prefer truth than to be continually living in a lie or a stronghold or a prison or carrying a burden that I shouldn't be carrying. And so He said He did not put that burden on you. It was already there. You just didn't realize you were carrying it. And it was such a revelation, and it not only helped me to understand this burden I was carrying, but it released. Once I released it and realized it had been there, then it helped me to shed everything, shed all the stress about what me and my husband had talked about, shed all the stress about my decision to do what he asked me to do. And it was just very liberating. It was very freeing, knowing that I had released a burden that had been placed upon me from a church denomination. Because we get so wrapped up in these legalistic things that we need to be doing in order to gain our salvation, even though we were taught that no, we have our salvation, but we still have these things, these check marks, these things we have to do in order to keep our salvation, in order to make sure we get to heaven. No, God's grace is sufficient. So it was very liberating. It was amazing. And I really do feel like a weight has been lifted from me. I mean, that was just a couple of days ago. It's just been amazing. So these burdens we carry, it sounds crazy again that we choose to carry them. We choose to carry them because sometimes we find comfort in that pain. And sometimes we think that releasing that burden, releasing that pain means that whoever did whatever it was to us, if your parents abused you when you were a child, that means that, oh, you forgive them and now everything's happy and hunky-dory and they're the best people in the world. No, that pain will still be there. You just release when you forgive people, you release your desire, your wanting vengeance. That's right. God said, vengeance is mine. Let him figure that out and he will work it out. And it doesn't mean that this person that you forgive becomes your best friend. It doesn't mean that this issue just is a non-issue anymore. It doesn't mean that things are just going to be sunshine and roses and daisies all the time. You're still going to have some pain with releasing that burden. It's a wound that needs to be healed by God. And once you allow him to reveal things to you, to show you things, it really does. It will shake up your world, but it will be so good because he is a God of order, not a God of chaos. And he's the great physician. He knows what we need in order to be healed. And I would challenge you to go to him and pray about it and talk to him. And James tells us in the Bible that if we seek wisdom from God and ask for wisdom, that he will give it. He does. He is no respecter of sinner or non-sinner or Christian or non-Christian or whatever. He will give us wisdom. So I would challenge you to go seek that and be prepared for what he has to tell you. So one more story. So I do this workout called on my VR headset called Supernatural, and it's a boxing workout, and they have some other little workouts in there, but it uses music and it takes you, because it's VR, it takes you to different parts of the world, and you get to work out near Mount Everest or in California or in New Mexico or these places that it virtually takes you. And I work out the first time I work out with it in the morning, I put on weights. I put on wrist weights and ankle weights and a weight vest. And I do the first workout. And then I do the second workout. And I take those weights off and I do the second one, and I feel light as air. I feel so free. And in the second workout, I'm dancing and singing along with it because I no longer have the weight on me that is causing me to slow down. It's causing me to have trouble hitting the marks when they come at me. And so that's what burdens do to us. It slows us down. It distracts us. It wearies us. It tires us. And once we let go of that, we are liberated, we are free, and we can do more. We can be faster, we can be better. So and I want to talk to you for just a minute about when you have these spiritual burdens, they are also emotional burdens. They can also cause damage to your body. High blood pressure, it can cause weight gain, it can cause anxiety, it can cause fear, it can cause all those things. And then, of course, when we have those burdens, and then if we think about them, or even if we just ignore them and pretend they're not there, that can still give us mental blocks for things that we should be doing, the things that we should be thinking about. It is a barrier, it is a wall, and we need to get past that. We need to release that stuff to God. In Psalm 55:22, it says, "Cast your burden upon the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never allow the righteous to be shaken." We live on the foundation of Jesus, on that solid foundation. And we may be knocked off kilter every once in a while. We may get the air knocked out of us. We may be surprised by something, but that foundation will always be under our feet, and we will always be stable if we're standing upon Jesus. So if you have any of these, any burdens, of course, like I said, if you live on earth, you're going to have burdens. And then we are imperfect people, being raised by imperfect people, married to imperfect people, bearing imperfect people. And so we all have to work through our own salvation, the scripture says, with fear and trembling. We have to seek him, each of us, and allow someone else, others, to seek them in their own at their own pace. Have grace for people to allow them to have their own encounter with God, to have their own lessons and their own growth with God. You have yours. You concentrate on yours, and I'll concentrate on mine. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. And I want to do a quick plug. Let me go grab something for you. So this right here is called black spruce. It is an essential oil, and it is an amazing product to help release some subconscious fears, especially generational fears. And so all you have to do is use this, put it anywhere on your body. This is an external and aromatic only. And I'll tell you, the first time I used it, I was on my way to meet my daughter and her friend for a writing workshop. And I thought, the book I was writing, I really needed to remember my history. And so I put this on before leaving the house. And about halfway there, I just burst out crying. And I was like, what is going on? And I prayed about it, and God showed me, he told me what one of my strongholds was, one of the things that I was holding on to that I didn't even realize was bothering me. And I prayed about it the rest of the time, and it no longer bothers me, but it was just amazing at how it just helps to release some of the things that we aren't even aware of. They're subconscious. We aren't even aware of that we're suffering from them. So I will drop a link. And let me tell you, I know a lot of people out there don't believe the essential oils work, but you don't have to believe they'll work for them to work. And this is an amazing one. So I'll drop a link where you can get this if you would like to have it. And if you have a story about black spruce, I'd love to hear about it. If you need me to pray for you, please just drop a message. You don't have to say what it is. Just say, I'd like prayers, and God knows what you need. And I will be happy to pray for you. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. And I hope you have a great day. And be sure to get God in your day first, because he is the most important and needs to come first. Give him the first fruits of our time. All right. Thank you. And I will talk to you later.